So you want a phone with a sensible sized battery, but you don't want it to be gigantic, and you'd also like it to have a really sleek, slender design. Well, Huawei has a new set of smartphones for you, and they're called Nova, and you're looking at them here. The one on your left is the Huawei Nova, and the one on the right is the Huawei Nova Plus. So let's take a closer look and see what they're like. This is the smaller of the two, the Huawei Nova, and it has a 5-inch 1080p LCD screen. As you can see here, it's a 2.5D glass panel over the top, so it's curved at the edge, which runs into this metal unibody. On the rear, there's a fingerprint sensor. The phone also has NFC for Android Pay, and up the top here is a 12 megapixel camera. The philosophy behind this phone is to have a cool looking device with a great camera with plenty of processing power that you can slip in your jeans pocket and go out at night. It's aimed at people who like to do a lot of social media stuff, a lot of the communication apps. The processor inside, however, is still pretty strong. It's a Snapdragon 625, and Huawei tells us that that's going to give you 30% more battery life than the 615, the previous generation of this particular processor. Along with the Snapdragon 625 is 3GB of RAM. There's one of those excellent hybrid SIM slots too, so you can put in another SIM card, or you can put in a micro SD card to give a bit of boost to the storage space. Android 6.0 runs underneath Huawei's EMUI user interface, and inside, powering all of this, is a just over 3000 milliamp hour battery. Huawei says this will run for 2 days inside the Huawei Nova, which is pretty good by most standards. We quite like the design of this phone, but the specs and the size may be a little bit low. So what you want instead is the Nova Plus, which is a little bit bigger. This is a 5.5-inch 1080p screen. Still runs Android 6.0 with EMUI 4.1 user interface over the top that you can see here. So you get all the apps on the home screens, not inside an app tray. Some people are going to love that, others are going to hate it. Me personally, it's pretty good. It's quite convenient. The design on the rear of the Nova Plus is slightly different to the regular Nova, so you have a raised camera module at the top here, and that's because it's a little bit different. Instead of 12 megapixels, this is 16 megapixels, and the battery inside this is even bigger, 3340 milliamp hours. Now that translates into a little bit longer, perhaps 2.5 days at the most you'll get out of this, but still, that's pretty good for a 5.5-inch smartphone with an octa-core 2 GHz processor inside. Again, it's super light. You get that aluminium unibody and the 2.5D glass over the top. So it is a very stylish smartphone. So the two Huawei Nova smartphones, they're going to get a global launch. We're waiting for final details of when they'll be available and how much they'll cost. But we're expecting them to be pretty similar to the Honor brand. Now, Honor is also known for making very good looking, quite high spec and reasonably priced smartphones, and it's obviously a spin-off brand for Huawei. So we're expecting these to come in pretty similar. They're going to be sold in similar markets too, so there's a bit of competition going on between Huawei and Honor. We'll have some more details on these two very cool looking smartphones, the Huawei Nova and the Nova Plus. So you can check out more on Digital Trends right now.